Hey babe, would you like to get some goats with me? Start a little farm, no need for alarm. Get some chickens and horses, little lambs of courses.
My name is Allie. We're in the Holston community at Foothill Frolick Farm on Gammon Creek. We say we're over a 200-year-old family farm. Back in the day, it was more of a subsistent farm where, everybody was just doing and existing. It really became a cattle farm in the 1950s. It's kind of when my grandparents kind of turned, they got their first Hereford herd, and that's kind of when you could say it became a cattle farm, and really they were farming for a living. So we have it going all the way back to the first person, Richard Gammon. He came from England, and this is on my dad's side of the family. So my mama was a Gammon, and she married a Mills, but it was Gammon going back many years. At Foothill Frolick Farm, we're farming over 400 acres, and so that's a mixture of owned land, leases, and then just land in kind that people let us use for hay. But the actual part that's still owned, that's part of the family, is 110 acres, and that's where we always keep our main cow-calf herd. So that's our mamas and all their calves, and they rotate here completely. And then we have two other herds that we call our heifer herd and our steer herd, and because we do everything from birth to beef, it's just kind of graduating into the next phase. Once these calves are weaned from their mamas, then they move into different herds, and we're rotating those as well. We have what I call a Hereford Angus cross, and it's not that necessarily we picked them, it's they picked here, because I say my grandparents in the 1950s got their first Hereford herd, and the Herefords are the reddish brown bodies, white face, and that was a very classic breed for this area in that time frame. Now, Angus did so much marketing in the 90s that everyone that was in the cattle industry kind of had to flip over and incorporate Angus somehow into their herd, and that's what happened here. So basically, my dad started getting purebred Angus bulls. And so when you start breeding the Angus bulls with the Hereford genetics, you start getting what's called baldies, and they are the black body, white face. But because we specialize in custom beef, we're very, very pleased with our genetics in where we're at, because these mamas, they have genetics that go back to that 1950s. And so as epigenetics, things that do well when they're in the same spot for periods of time, that means that all these have adapted to do the best they can on this ground, on this grass. And so that's a big thing that we talk about with people who are part of our shareholders who buy beef from us, because I think that's what makes our herd resilient. Because we really have an excellent group that just does well with our rotations and not being treated and all these things you look for if you want to rotate animals. The big difference is in if you're going to purchase a custom beef share from us is that, for one, these animals have never been treated with anything. So these are things maybe someone would say, well, you can't taste that. But people say they can taste the cleanness in our beef. And because you think of all the things that are going into animals in the industry. This is vaccines, antibiotics, fly control, dewormer, delicer. All these things are applied very regularly to an animal. They're all chemicals. So even though, supposedly they get pooped out their back end, but I don't even want the stuff in the poop coming out into our fields, because that means even though bacteria and things take care of that over time, I don't want that in our fields. And so basically you're tasting meat that hasn't been altered by any sort of administration to that animal. So basically you go to our website and you read about what it means to become a custom beef shareholder, which means you can get anywhere from a whole beef down to an eighth of beef. You know, right now we still have so many animals left for our 2025-2026 season it goes from July to March. That's kind of our cycles, and we have 50 to 60 beefs available every year that are our prime 2-year-olds. So 2.5-year-olds, you could say, and been following this system, you know, ever since they were born. So the best way to get in contact with us or to learn about what we're doing is to go to our website, and that is foothillfrolickfarm.com.